hair, and then it just starts sticking up like fun. Anyway, I'm here. I'm live. I'm doing the thing. We are gonna go share the post like I always do, and we'll be right back with you. And boom, there we are. We are back. And boom, there we are. We are back. We are live. We are hanging out. Currently looking for my power cord and do the thing like we always do. Sundays, sit and talk about Ford Excursion stuff, Excursion mods, Excursion events, all the Excursion stuff you guys want to talk about. I would love to talk about you with. Make this a great again. You have made it this week. That is awesome, my friend. Good to see you. You were bummed you missed last week, so I'm glad to have you back. And oh, there it is. I don't know what's happening here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Get all the stuff rolling. Make this a great again. How are you doing this week? How is remind me, make these so great. You're not in the US, if I remember right. You're somewhere else. Ah, you're in Houston. Alrighty. Alrighty, good deal. Mr. 6 p.m. Yes. I know. I'm on the wrong time zone. I know. I'm not as the widespread. What is up, everybody? I am Bryce from Geeks 4x4. Geeks 4x4 is the Excursion channel on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all the stuff. If you are interested in Ford Excursions and you want to learn more about them, you want to help fixing them, you want to know how they do off road, you just want all the things. Um, I'm the guy. So I'm really glad that you're here today. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. We got some comments rolling in already. Chris is saying he's already got a mess. He's got water in his fuse box. Finally found a new fuse box. Now he needs to get it reprogrammed. Dang, and he asked how he gets that done. Need to get a fuse box programmed, huh? Are you sure it's the fuse box? It wasn't the PCM that got wet. You have to get a PCM with the same code on it as the one that was in there. As far as all that programming stuff, I am not the right guy. I wonder if like one of the Wrangler Fix or something like that type of person or a PCM guru online will be able to rewrite your PCM to accept your truck. Does that make sense? Um, but yeah, I'm not the right person to you have everything in and it just won't crank or what's going on. Uh Octa Sororis, love that name. I probably butchered it, but I like it. I think I get what you're doing. Thanks, man. Yeah, I love my old excursion. It is a good time. Popping it up over on the screen over here. So if you guys see me jump on or jump over to this screen, it's because I can see things a little bit bigger. But all right, we're all set. We'll set up a goal. We're gonna do a goal of 5 super chats. Teal or higher. I'm gonna do it for 2 hours. And we're gonna do a shop walk around. Show you guys what we're working on in the shop and with Bob and all the stuff. So if we get to that super chat goal, it will be there. Y'all are there. You get all that. Happened once before. You removed the whole thing, took all the plates apart, cleaned them all up, fixed a few that were burned. Dude, yeah. That does not sound fun. I don't know. You asked about reprogramming. Now, I don't know that that's reprogramming. Am I wrong? Um, sounds like you need to get your windshield fixed so you don't have to have water in your fuse box anymore. Oh dang. Yeah, that is no fun. Yeah, the culprit of that is probably your windshield leaking. I know mine leaks down in that similar area, which you are just giving me a great reminder and reason to actually fix my windshield. But I haven't. I haven't. Bob's windshield leaks, and it's Bob lives in the garage. It's not that big a deal, but when I drive it, it's like these events and stuff, and it rains, and it almost seems to rain every time, and I get soaked. My knee is wet, and my hands and arms are wet. And it's really fun to have it rain inside the vehicle when you're driving to an event. So yeah, that's a bummer, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any great suggestions to you. Morgan Builds is doing a motor swap on his X54 out, 68 in. Hey, you're gonna like the extra cylinders. You're gonna like the way it looks. That sounds like a sweet thing. How is it going? I'm kind of curious how the wiring is and all that. Obviously, you're gonna need your different injector wiring uh, for that and all that. Jordan Galagos Excursion, yes sir, a bobbed excursion. This is the world's only bobbed excursion sitting behind me. I'm a lot closer to the tire than I should be. There's 12 inches gone out of this. Make diesel great again. Is asking about your engine swap. Was it a 5.4 cooked or was it an upgrade? I'm curious about that too. Did you kill a 5.4? If you did, how many miles? Uh, Theon to Kitty sent a flower. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Christopher's got a 2000. Had to park it for a while due to health, which now is great. But I want to get back to driving, of course. Plus, you have a bunch of cars, and I was kind of out of rotation. Yeah, man. Jordan, thank you, man. Thank you. It's been a really fun build. The truck is extremely capable, and I love that I can go anywhere and sleep in the back of it. That was the goal. And so, cruise down the highway at 70 miles an hour, sleep in the back of the truck when we get somewhere and go wheeling. It's a lot of fun. Jaquin, quick tornado fact: the storm chaser Doug Hopper faced the most devastating tornadoes in Joplin, Missouri. Hit directly by tornadoes survived. Dang, that's crazy. Thanks, random fact. Theon the kitty. That's okay, man. I learned everything about mechanics when I started working on this truck. I ripped this thing apart. I did know like basics, but when I cut this truck in half, I had to learn how to weld to put it back together, basically. So yeah. Um, nice. Uh, Christopher said he bought the first diesel to come into the Pacific Northwest in 1999. I'm pretty sure it was early number off the line. I think it was maybe put together a little better. I don't know if they put them together any better, but that's awesome. Christopher, where are you located, man? I'm in the Pacific Northwest. Morgan uses a 4x2. That's awesome. Jaquin sent 100. Love that. Morgan bought a wreck truck for the 4x4. Motor came with it. Oh, cool. So there's the 5.4 is actually fine. You just switch into a 4-wheel drive and you're switching into all this stuff. That's really cool. Christopher, there is you should get your hose out and see if you can get it to leak because the seals on the windshield are really known to leak, and so I would not be surprised if your windshield seal is leaking. Theon to Kitty, thank you for a random tornado fact. I'm good. Morgan says her 5.4 is still good. Or their 5.4. I don't know if guy or girl. No idea. Sorry. And and still good with 203,000. Yeah, 203,000 for a 5.4 is like nothing. Hey, if you're in here and you haven't hit the thumbs up, I would super appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button. Let YouTube know that you guys are enjoying the stuff. Somebody just sent a little cool star thing. That's pretty fun. We also have a challenge going on the super chat. So if you want to donate, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a walk around tour of the garage, show you more of this truck behind us and all that stuff. Ryan Barnes asks, is it illegal to drink and drive when you're off road? Well, it's still drinking and driving, and you still need a driver's license to operate the vehicle. So yes, 100% still illegal to drink and drive when you are off-road. Ford Power Stroke is better. What up? Cutting the grass. That's awesome. Jaquin, great. Do you know of anyone who's taken an excursion and made a trailer out of it so I can build it, or so I can build a matching trailer? Nobody has done the matching trailer on the excursion. Maybe so. I haven't seen it. There's a guy with a Suburban one, but there's not one on an excursion. And I actually was thinking about it the other day, so it's in my brain too. So get around to it. I would love to do that. I'd love to see it exist. So great. Joe Quinn. Cool. Cool, cool. I don't want to work on a GMC. No thanks. Nope, not a Chevy person. It's the worst. Those are the worst. Keep hitting that thumbs up, guys. I appreciate you. if you want to, well, I also got a really cool thing to tell you about. The need to get Dan going. Hang on. Okay. I wouldn't buy a Dodge either. Um, Morgan asked if I had a roll cage and if I'm going to get a roll cage. Um, I do not have a roll cage, but yes, this truck will be getting a roll cage. It needs one. The idea with this truck was to do Unreal Adventure. It was Ultimate Adventure at the time. It is now Unreal Adventure. And they do require a roll cage. And so that is one of the big reasons that I haven't applied to that yet. And that is one of the that's like the last big piece that I need to apply. I can apply without it and have, say it's going to be done before, but uh, personally, right now, I don't have the funds. So this year it won't happen just because I'm trying to make smart financial decisions. And and so here I am talking to you guys, hanging out and doing the thing. It'll be an internal cage inside. Um, we have somebody, Ted from the Philippines. He bought a '89 3-door Pajero, 4-cylinder turbo diesel, and then to find a PTO. Wow, that's super cool. I've never even seen a 4-door Pajero. That's kind of nice. Christopher said bobber as in shortened. Yes, it is bobbed. There's 12 inches taken off the back here. Where the white stripe is, you can actually see the cut in it, and it's taken off the back. I am in Washington. Yeah, 3-door Pajero. That's awesome. So I just put a link to the Stand store. The Stand store has a really cool community on it. If you guys want to join and support me and just be part of the community, if you're an Excursion owner, would love to have you. We're basically doing Facebook groups without the Facebook group problems. So it's kind of cool. The other really cool thing I want to share with you guys this month, if you have an Excursion or a Pajero, I mean, either way. So Skyjacker, they are upping our discounts for you guys this month. So if you use my code Geeks4x410, at Skyjacker, sorry, I'm gonna write this in there. You're going to get 15% off of anything at Skyjacker this month, which is awesome. So, like, you can go buy a t shirt for 15% off, a sticker for 15% off, and anything you buy and use that code, you help me. They're doing a cool thing for us, and there's kind of a competition going. If you guys want to help me out and you want to use that code, the more people use it, do different things, the better I do in the competition. So, I would super appreciate that, but also you get a great discount. So, 15% off the entire month of June with the code Geeks4x410 on Skyjacker's website. Um, oh, Ted says it's known as a Montero in Canada. Yeah, Mitsubishi made a Montero. I don't think the Montero was ever a 3-door though here. Not that I can remember. Uh, I also have never paid super attention to the Monteros, but they are kind of a cool rig. I have always thought they were cool. I've just never owned one. Dodge Raider. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's a Mitsubishi because Mitsubishi owns Pajero, or who makes the Pajero? Is that what am I saying it right? I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but um, I think you're right. I think it's a Montero. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're doing the thing. So yeah, if you need shocks or you need you want to do a lift kit or something on your Excursion or any vehicle, honestly, Skyjacker makes stuff for just about everybody, and you can get 15% off this month if you use the code Geeks4x410. So that's good for the whole month. And like I said, if you use it, help me out, and you get 15% off. So it's pretty good stuff on great products. I run Skyjacker on Both my excursions, I'm working on getting it on the Jeep because the Jeep rides terrible with some shocks that are um not stellar. Rockstein shocks. Not my favorite. Um but yeah. So that's what we're doing. What else we got going in the excursion chat? We've got one guy working on a fuse panel. That is rough, man. I'm afraid you're gonna have to either tear it apart again or buy another one. I don't think you're gonna have to program a fuse panel though, because there's no computer in a fuse panel. It's just the plates and everything that you said you took apart before. But if it is the PCM, you might have to program it. That's a little bit harder. Um, just need the right person. They'll be able to program. If you are unfamiliar with the Ford Excursion was built from 2000 to 2005. Ford said, we are going to take a pickup truck and take the heavy duty of our pickups, the tow and all that stuff, and let's put an SUV body on it. So it's basically a pickup truck with an SUV body. So it's an 8 passenger. It's got room for a 4x8 sheet of plywood in the back of it, and you can haul 8 of your friends and any boat or any travel trailer that you want to tow because it has the tow rating of a pickup. So it's a pretty special vehicle. Ford only made them for 5 years, which is kind of a bummer. But it was right during the last time the gas prices shot up, and I think it just really didn't do well because people didn't want to pay a bunch of money to fill the 44-gallon gas tank or fuel tank. They came with a 6-liter diesel in the end, 2003 to 2005. They also came with the 7.3, and that's kind of like in my mind, the holy grail excursion. And then they also came with a V10, 6.8-liter gas engine, and they also came with a 5.4 gas V8. And all of them were actually pretty good engines. They can all be super reliable. They also can all have their problems, just like everything else. But Ford really set the bar high for the world's biggest SUV with the best tow rating and all that stuff. And so uh, it's a pretty special vehicle. And if you own one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't own one and you have a family and you don't want to have a minivan, then you probably are jealous because they're just a good truck. And I would 100% recommend trying to find one and trying to see what I'm talking about by owning one of the world's coolest vehicles, I think. So, what else do you guys got? Where are we from? Here in the chat, post up. Where are you from, and what are you driving currently? I would love to hear what you guys are doing, working on, doing the thing. I'm gonna start a. I keep doing that. I never know what I'm doing over here. Yeah, I did the poll thing differently. Boom, started the poll. Got to make that. Oh, got it, Chris. Chris, so you probably don't have to put the PCM in unless your PCM is burned, but um it's got to be the same code for the truck. You're going to either have to have a dealer program it or find a. Yeah, it's probably built in 99, but it's actually a 2000. I don't know. You're an early one, so it's going to be one of those early things. Um but it's like the '06s. Like '06s exist too, and Ford just claimed that they only built them to 2000 to 2005. Um so but that's super interesting that it came with a new PCM. Huh. Yeah, I don't know enough about that. You're gonna have to start calling up and seeing if you can find a guy to program it for you. I had a really good guy here in Wenatchee a few years ago. He moved to Spokane. That was super good with computers and stuff, and really good at programming and taking his time to diagnose and all that stuff. Um, yeah. Christopher, can you add an additional and larger Fuel tank or a larger fuel tank. Well, 44 gallons is a lot, so most people think that's fine. Somebody did make a saddle tank for it. I actually have a like a 10 or so gallon saddle tank sitting in my garage currently. Uh, that I thought I was going to use, but I don't think I'm going to use. But I'm not going to sell it yet. But it's only like 10 gallons, so it's not that exciting. But somebody did make one. You could probably put a truck one in and let it hang super low. I don't know. Everything behind the axle though, that is full. The way that Ford built that gas tank is filling that whole space. You bought yours new. That's awesome, man. Yeah, well, I didn't buy it. My family bought the one my white 7.3 brand new as well. Out of California. It was bought in I think it was bought in October of 2000. It was built in August of 2000. So, um yeah, it's been in the family forever. So, pretty cool. I think, Chris, we've talked before. I think I remember you telling me you thought you were one of the first ones up here with a 7.3, and that's super cool. I love that. I wish we need to do some VIN lookup stuff and see like what the numbers are if they're going to classify any of them as an actual 99. I'd be curious what your build date is. Nice. You're in Salem. Nice. Um, Yeah, I'd be curious what it says on your VIN tag on your door, what the actual like month is. So, what's the month and the year? 'Cause it'll say mine says '08 of '00. Um '08/00, and that's the month and the year it was built. So, I would be super interested to hear if what yours says. Diesel Lives Matter, what is up? How are you doing? Glad to see you in here again. We were just hanging out, uh already talking about windshield leaks and the old bobbed excursion behind us and how cool excursions are and all the stuff. Glad to have you in here, Diesel Lives Matter. What are you up to this week? Have you been working on your trucks, or are you like me and just I'm slow, guys. I just feel like I'm burned. I'm burned out right now, and don't have the energy to bring myself up to do things. Working on the X. We're replacing the full AC stuff. So I brought the white one down to get air conditioning stuff fixed. And we put a new evaporator in the back of it, and then that little splitter and everything. And we found a pinhole leak in the um, we found a pinhole leak in the actual lines underneath the AC box. So that's kind of a bummer. But we got a little replacement coming. That should be solid. And but I have the truck back with still no AC. It's kind of annoying. One of my buddies just messaged me here. Oh man. Smitty 0173 almost 144. Wow. Wow, Smitty, that thing that just rubbing it in here. Got to come in and just tell us that he has a brand new 7.3 essentially. That's not even fair. My 7.3 is far beyond that. It is at 352, I think now. I don't know. Poor truck. Um, but yeah, I love this truck. Diesel Lives Matters, thinking about replacing his rear expansion valve. Yeah, I just did that as well. All the stuff should work really well. I just did it because I figured it was something in the back. I heard the hiss, so I just replaced everything back there, and then we found another thing. What are you headed to Branson for next week? Diesel Lives Matter. Christopher, what fall of '99? What month of '99 is what it was built. Diesel Lives says his F-350 has 135 Gs. Mister has an O2 304, has the electronic HVACs. Yep. Having issues with it only blowing out of the defrost. Won't switch to any other mode. And ideas. Mister, what is the actual electronic thing showing only the defrost, or is it showing other things on the screen and only blowing out the defrost? Does that make sense? Does the screen show that it's going to do something different? Um, yeah, no problems, Chris. I'm just curious. Diesel Lives is doing the dance life, man. He's doing that. Um, Diesel Lives, you got to come to the next event. You got to figure this out because my wife is a dancer choreographer and she wanted to do a bunch of like line dancing and stuff. So when we do the next event, we're gonna make sure I get her that time to do a line dancing lesson and all that. So you got to come. Make sure that happens. Diesel Lives Matter. Okay, got it. Yeah, so Mister, that is exactly what I was gonna say, what Diesel Live said. The non-vacuum way that is open, so when vacuum is not in the system, is through the defrost. So there's a little vacuum pump on the passenger fender well that sometimes will go bad, but if you have a big vacuum leak, when you turn that, I'm just gonna say the knob, just because it's when you turn the knob to go to the vents on the dash or the floor, it actually sucks vacuum to change where it goes. And so if you've got a big vacuum leak, say your 4x4 hubs are leaking badly or something like that, it will actually blow only out the defrost and not out the dash vacuum. So it actually switches that. So I would start looking for vacuum things. Unfortunately, we're right at the end of the vacuum era with the Excursion, so we have a kind of a problem with that. Um, and yeah, that's where I'd start is the vacuum stuff. Mr. Fear. Oh, nice. He's in his trail boss Sylvie Severado. Poor guy. Has to deal with independent front suspension and bending tie rods. Yep, yep, mister. That's where I would start. Um, like I said, it could literally be that vacuum module, but it also could be like if you changed the hubs out to the non-factory ones and maybe um you haven't capped those lines or something, or I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. So so yeah. Man, we're all working on AC. Yeah, make you so great again. Working on that too. Yeah, man, we are all just playing with air conditioning right now. I've always done really well. My white truck has never not had it, and so it's kind of been a thing. Diesel Labs is doing an AC. Make diesel great again. There are stop leak pro. Red Angel, actually, have used that in my Jeep, and it's worked really well. It's Carson wants me to buy them an e-bike. I wish I could afford an e-bike for myself. So no, I'm not going to buy you an e-bike, but you could buy me one, and you could help by donating to Geeks 4x4. Super chat is open. Just kidding. Um, yeah. Yeah, make use of great again. A lot of people have complained about that. I don't know, it's been in the Jeep for a few years and it works really well. So I don't really have massive complaints. The Red Angel thing has been great. I also have run some of that head gasket stop leak stuff in the Jeep because it has a really, really nice Griffin aluminum radiator that leaks every few years. pretty cool. It's pretty special. Makes us a great again. Yeah, his 7.3 in Luxembourg uh has 155K on it, which just like brand new. That's just not even fair. Um yeah, I don't know. Some people with these low. If you have a 1 in your odometer and it's a 7.3 under the hood, that's just not that's not even fair to me. Yes, dieselized matter. You are 100% correct. All welded radiators will crack and leak. That's kind of the thing. I have to decide if I'm just going to go back to the stock one or not. I don't know. I've had the Griffin in it forever. Summit actually replaced it at one point for me. But that's been 10 years now. And then it started leaking again from another crack. And so it's just, and I just put some of the good head gasket repair stuff in there and just floats away its way around and seals whatever it needs to seal. It's been fine. Um, yeah, I like the idea of the aluminum overflow tank on both of my the 7.3 and the 6.8 use the same overflow tank. So I'd kind of like to have that. But yeah. Woo! Smitty said he was looking at doing the SSBC caliper upgrade, 8 pistons front and 6 pistons in the rear. The total comes out to $3,200. That is insane. Um, I hear that they're amazing. I have not run them. I'm not gonna diss on them. It sounds like an incredible upgrade. I also coil swapped my entire truck for that price. The brakes are not that much better, but like now I coil swapped it. Like I have better turning radius and a little bit better brakes and not just cool calipers and Dana 50 still. But if you want better stopping power and that's all you want, you can do that. I don't like things that are that expensive. George says hi. What's up, George? How are you? Glad to have you guys in here. Keep hitting that thumbs up button, guys. I super duper appreciate it. YouTube is actually doing a little bit better today at this one. We are like almost at the same views that we were at all of last week. So that is super exciting. Keep hitting that thumbs up. I appreciate you guys asking the questions. Keep the chats rolling. I'm loving chatting. This is giving me a new energy today. I've had a hard time getting up and moving. So this is fun. Keep it going, guys. I love it. Thank you for being my peeps, my community. My community is the best, guys. So grateful for all of you. All of you who have gone and joined the community. All of you who have gone and bought t-shirts. Did you know you can buy t-shirts? Uh in the stand store, I think. Hang on. Let me look. I think there's a link. No, I don't have the merch thing in the stand store. But I'm gonna put a link to the stand store. You guys can get merch. Yeah, did you know that? You can buy Geeks 4x4 merch. So I've got some shirts with the old Bob Excursion on it. If you go to the stand store and click on buy Excursion parts here, I think is what it says. It's the Amazon link. Find Excursion parts here. Um, if you go into my list, you're going to see a Geeks 4x4 merch list. And you can buy a jacket, you can buy a t-shirt, you can buy all that stuff. Help support me, does other things. If you also just want to join the community on Stan, I would also love that. Yeah. Let's see. Dieselized Matter says, did you know the 6.8 has one rear O2 sensor? You know, it's interesting. I don't know where that is on mine because there was not one that was on the other side of the catalytic converter. Um, I don't, there must be down on, they're both on the down pipe. Or maybe it is just one on one side of the bank. I don't know, but it's only, yeah, it's right back in there. So yeah. Maybe it's a diesel bike. What? Dieselized matter depends on the year. Like I said, I have zero O2 sensors behind the transmission. I have zero O2 sensors behind the Y pipe. Yeah. Powerman's got an 04 F250 CCSB. I never know what all those means, but great. Crew cab, short bed. V10, 373. It's going to '05 swap at 430 gears, 33 to 34-inch tires. Looking at brackets now. That's awesome, Power Man. Power Man, so PMF makes really nice bolt-on brackets. I really like them. But my question to you, Power Man, I'm just going to throw this out there. I was telling people earlier, there's a great discount going at Skyjacker. Both of PMF and Skyjacker have worked with me. They're awesome companies. I would suggest both of them. But I have an awesome discount right now at Skyjacker. And if you want a lift kit to go with that coil swap, Skyjacker makes like a 4-inch long arm or 6-inch long arm or something. And they sell all the brackets with it. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. But with Skyjacker this month, use the code Geeks4x410, you get 15% off. Just throwing it out there, just in case you're thinking about a lift. Either way, if you buy the PMF brackets, I would buy my coil springs from Skyjacker. Theirs ride so good. And then grab yourself a set of Black Max shocks. You'll be stoked about the way it rides after you coil swap it. Use that code is 15% off only this month. So if you want springs and shocks from Skyjacker, you need to get them this month so that you make sure you get the 15% off. Diesel Lives Matter, you got two, huh? Power Man, good job for what? I'm just letting you know. Just letting you know that that there's stuff out there and there's a great discount this month. Like, so my code is normally good for 10%. It's always good for 10%. But if you want the 15, and that 15% adds up, especially if you're going to buy a lift kit. 15% is a big discount when you're spending a lot of money on a lift kit, on a quality lift kit, and that's okay. Lift kits are not supposed to be cheap. When you buy them cheap, you buy them again. But I really like the PMF coil buckets and everything. I don't remember if Skyjack can go. I guess I can go look here. Hang on. Let's see. When you go on Skyjacker's site, you're just going to put in your vehicle as a 2005. So that's what I do. I put it in as 2005 F250 Super Duty, and I put mine in as a gas motor because it is a gas motor, not the same. Let's see. So they've got a 6-inch and an 8.5, and it looks like the 6 comes with radius arm brackets. But they're the ones that go into the factory one. So you still need the brackets from PMF to go onto the frame. But you can get all the other stuff on Skyjacker's site. Yeah. Anton, yes. Well, you want to go the carrier brake on the rear. I don't remember all that thing, but yeah. So Anton just piped in and said if you're doing lockers, make sure that you don't go lower because the carrier does different. Perfect, Power Man. Yeah. Um, so do yeah, that's what I thought. There was a thinner gear though that I got sent on accident for the 10.5. It's kind of weird. Um, Diesel Lives Matter expansion valve. Oh, in the rear, it's right underneath. I think it's that dual, like what I think is the expansion valve. There's like an orange thing that's dual in the back that has two pipes running through. Is that I don't know if that's the expansion valve. I don't know. I just replaced. We had that replaced in mine. But yes, um, yes, the carrier brake's on a 60. Yeah, maybe that was the front axle that we were dealing with. It was. Yeah, because I got a thinner gear for the front, and we had to switch it out and go back. It was weird. Anyway, um, yeah, but the carrier does do something different. But well, yeah, no, Power Man is doing gears. Yeah, Power Man, that would be my thought too, is if you ever thought about going lower or bigger tires, I would put a 456 in it. I don't know. The V10 apparently loves RPM, so if you're towing and want to go with a 35 someday, you might be a lot happier with it. I don't know. I'm happy with my 488s, but I don't tow a thing. So it's so much different than a lot of this. Um, yeah, though there should be a pipe. There should be two pipes. It's a little box that the pipes go through. Uh, Diesel lives matter. I can go walk out there. Mine's all apart still. I have all the interior sitting in the garage. It's great. And like I said, today's motivation was not high. So I did not get rolling on that. So that was kind of annoying. So yeah, it's fun. It's real fun. Real exciting. Diesel mopeds? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Hunter says I can relate. We've been doing 70-hour weeks, so not much happens on the weekend. Dude, and I'm not even doing that much. I just sometimes you just like wake up and you're like, I thought I had a bunch of stuff to do today, and then your brain's like, no, no, you're just gonna chill and do nothing. So my wife went to take care of her mom this week, so uh, by myself. So now the motivation is even worse. I don't have somebody. It's not even her saying anything. It's just when I have somebody around, makes me feel like I need to do something. So I don't look like I'm just sitting doing nothing. So, so anyway, hopefully, I can get my butt in gear here, and after work, start tinkering on some things, get some things done. I got to put my truck back together because I got to drive it next weekend over there. So, and the entire interior from the passenger, the second row back, is sitting right behind you guys. So, I have to get on that. It's it's fun. Yay. Yay life. But I have all the sound deadening to lay sound deadening on all the floor, and then I'll put the carpet back in on top of it. It should be nice. I'm excited to get that the old 7.3 a little nicer, a little quieter. Um and yeah. So I got to get some motivation. I have the time is what's annoying. When I have the time, I need the motivation to roll, and we'll get that taken care of. So got some videos to do. Got some other things. You guys see the walk around today? Did a walk around of Ryan's O3. It's like a early 0360, so it's like a 03 and a half or whatever. So it has all the terrible things, is what he describes it as. But he just did that like 5,000 to 6,000 mile road trip towing a Jeep from South Carolina to the event to San Diego back to South Carolina. That guy is crazy. So so yeah. Diesel Last Matter said he drove his 6-liter 50,000 miles last year. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. Like I said, I think that all these motors can be really good. I said that earlier. We're talking just kind of just describing the excursion life a little bit, just in case people didn't know. And it's it's a lot nicer. I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't think any of the engines that Ford put in the Excursion were really junk. So Ford Power Stroke says been trying to remove the water separator filter cap, change the filter, but the cap is on so tight it's twisting the entire water separator. Ooh, yikes. Um, oh, interesting. Make diesel great again. Yes. It's about as tucked in as it can be, for what it is. Um, yeah, the engines were great. Anton says Ryan spent more time looking at the monitor than on the road. um, yeah, exactly. Diesel Live says they weren't great out of the box. I totally agree. They need some love, but you know, they were not. I mean, I don't know. 7.3 was. If you didn't touch a 7.3, you never had to. But when you started touching the 6.0 or hitting the gas pedal too hard, then you really had to touch it. Or like Anton found, the best way to fix a 6 liter is to delete the 6 liter. So I love that. Anton, I thought I was going to have your walk around this weekend. I think I have one more. I don't remember. Ryan's ended up super short, but some of the audio came out legible, so that's nice. I'm hoping that some of your audio, because the way that Anton describes all of his setup is so much better than I can do. So I'm hoping that I can use some of his audio. We'll see. But I do have a walk around of Anton's truck coming out. Come swapped NV4500, like super cool. Really like the way Anton's is set up. I probably won't ever do that to one, but I like the way it is. Diesel lives matter. Yeah, the oil pumps, I don't know, hit or miss. Aftermarket, make diesel great again. What do you mean aftermarket? I mean, this is the truck that's on 40s, so yeah. Yeah, diesel lives matter said if you don't idle them, and that's so true. I was told that by a lot of people actually. They or somebody said to me a while back, they were like, everybody's burning turbos at 300, but you have 300, plus on yours, and um you haven't put a turbo in it. They're like, you must not idle very much. And it's like, yeah, that truck doesn't idle hardly at all. It idles to warm up in the winter a little bit, but I don't let it idle for more than 5 minutes. Um, and then I go. So I'm not an overnight idler or a 20-minute long. If it's idling for more than 10 minutes, I'm shutting it off. So Anton says don't buy a 6.0 and you won't have to. I think that's in regards to swapping an engine, and that's my plan. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, America makes use great again says, is there an aftermarket thing for the oil pumps? I really haven't heard that with the oil pumps. Um, but yeah, so I haven't really heard about an aftermarket one. Yeah, turbo's a wear item. You replace them at 200K. Night shift, that's great. I would just not idle it forever if you can. I don't know where you live, but obviously if it's extremely cold, um, in some of these states, you have to like people leave them idling overnight. So you just have to know. We Basto heating. What is that? Make diesel great again, Mr. Fabio. Cold Lake, Alberta. Oh, 01 Excursion Limited, basically stock for now. That's awesome, Smitty. You're not too far up from me in Washington State. Every week, drives 20 miles doing 70. Keep the RPMs above 2,000. Turn off soot. Turn off the soot. Oh, to burn off the soot. And 160K still doing great. No lag with the VGT. Yeah, Ford PowerStroke is better. I don't have any lag with. I don't have VGT though because it's a 7.3. But yeah, mine's like I said, still stock turbo 352K. Melling makes a high volume oil pump for the gassers. Highly recommend, especially on the 3 valve. Diesel has matter. That's awesome. Yeah, but the Excursion never got the 3 valve. So Melling, Anton says Melling as well. Edmonds, Alberta. Night shift is from Edmonds, Alberta. A lot of time in Grand Prairie. German heating system. Oh, that's cool. Hunter. Finally got the rest of the steel to finish the sliders. Maybe they'll be done by Trail Hero. Let's go. Hunter, I forgot. Are you gonna do are you cutting them like mine, or what did you do? You had shoved in the 2x4 up sideways. So are you gonna come out from the door and cut the bottom of the door, or what's the plan? Dude, that'd actually be cool. You have your 2x4 at the same height, and then you could essentially cut the bottom of the door like I did and come out with a step. That's kind of interesting. Still gonna be lower than me, but nice. Dieselized Matter says the X never got the O5 plus axles, but it didn't stop me. I'm putting a 6.8 3 valve in it someday. That's great. Yeah, I can you run the 3 valve heads on a 2 valve? Because that was my thought, was to put the better heads on mine when it comes that time. I don't know. Bob seems pretty okay. He just burns a lot of oil. Not a ton. It burns like a quarter thousand, which is I think in Ford spec. So I'm not too worried about it. Every once in a while it'll puff some blue smoke. Very very rare though. And yeah. No, can't run 3 valve heads. Okay. I have to run a 2 valve head if I ever pull it apart. Anton says C channel needs a flat plate or something to keep it from flexing if you're gonna run sliders. Yeah, Anton. So he's building sliders very similar to mine that aren't even connected to the frame, because the side of the bodies on these things is strong enough to do that. Uh, Also, think that I don't think you'd flex the frame with sliders. The only reason I bent and I didn't even flex the frame. I ended up bending the frame with my 4 link mounts. The C channel is so thick and the cross members are up in there that it would take a ton of force to move the C. Um, Plus, with all the skid plates that I built on or that are on the bottom of mine now, you couldn't pull the frame apart if you tried. It is yeah. There's 4 feet of skid plates underneath this truck. um Nice. Wonder if 60 has cast iron H pop, because the aluminum ones are garbage because the 05 to 07 had cast. Yeah, and it'll move the frame till they touch the body. I agree with that. But that's different. Like that's not gonna be a lasting impact. But again, that's why mine aren't to the frame. That's because the body is plenty strong, and if I just save the body itself, it's been fine. I've fully pivoted on mine. So it's been fine. Sounds good. Make diesel great again. Headed to Boston. Old Fabio running around the United States doing his thing. Yes, basically they're all the '03 to '04 tribe truck. Well, the '99 to '04s. So yeah. But yeah, a little bit of frame flex is to be expected, especially if you mount those sliders really low on the frame. I don't remember exactly where Outclaws are mounted, but yeah, they move. His hit the body. He's known that since he did them. They'll come up and hit the body. It's also probably less frame and more just the sliders moving. So I don't know. The end game on mine is probably hard mounting. When I do the cage, hard mounting the body to the frame, and then I can tie this. I'm going to tie the cage into the sliders. Is what I'm actually going to do. So everything is exoed around it, and then figure out how to do some ties into the frame for a hard mount. So then it'll be mounted everywhere instead of just one. But like the ZJs, they don't even have a frame, I was gonna say. Um, but anything that has a slider that's mounted off the frame like that, the slider definitely is gonna always have the ability to rise. And I don't think it's the frame flex. I think it's more the slider flex in general. Could be the frame. He might be totally right. That's okay. Dieselized matter. Power stroke is better. Is asking you, does the pressure spring for the fuel pressure regulator for the blue spring upgrade on the an O 04 version, or does it upgrade an O 04 version? Mine has the O 05 style up, and mine was built in July of O 05. Dieselized matter, yes. The frame needs to flex enough so it doesn't crack. um, can't recall if the fuel regulator. No answer. Sorry, no help. I'm just trying to be the guy, relaying the information to the people that are watching later. There you go, dieselized matter. You got to buy that one. You said last week you're going to buy it. We've got Max Seed out here from the USS Missouri. What is up, man? Thank you for your service. If you are literally on the USS Missouri, that is awesome. Are you an excursion owner? So glad you found us. Glad to have you join in the conversation. We're just talking about excursion stuff, rock sliders, blue spring mods, 6.0, making fun of people with 6.0, the usual. Um, and, doing the thing, doing the excursion chat. So glad to have you in here. And, if you guys haven't hit the thumbs up button, I'd love that. And also, we've got a super chat goal going. So you have all that. So Anton says, like SNN 780. I think Anton was in, also served. Appreciate his service as well. So maybe he knows something that I don't know about an SSN 780. I have no idea. I was not in the military. SSN 780. I don't know. Oh, you're good, Anton. Uh, you're good, man. So anyway, guys, we're just rolling through, doing the excursion thing. We're gonna update. I'm gonna let you guys, give you a little update on another cool thing. Again, I've said it a couple times, but if you are looking to buy shocks and springs or anything of that matter, if you're kind of close to buying those this month, Skyjacker is running a thing where my discount code, instead of the normal 10%, is 15% off. So go to Skyjacker, use the code Geeks4x410, get yourself 15% off, and get yourself that extra 5% this month, June only. No ifs, ands, or buts. No, this is only for 1 month. So it also helps me. I get to be put into running to win a prize and stuff. So I could get more Skyjacker parts. But I just trying to pass on the savings to you guys. Make sure if you want shocks or if you're thinking about shocks and springs, this is the month to buy them because they don't do they don't do a 15% discount hardly ever. So they do a show discount typically. So if you want a 15% all the time, you just gotta go find them at a show and get Roger to give you his discount. But if you want to support me, do it this month. I appreciate it. Geeks 4x4 10, no caps, all one word, at Skyjacker's website. Skyjacker, it's an awesome company. I run the Black Max shocks and I run their coils up front. I am super impressed with both. This truck rides way better than it should. So, Ford Power Stroke is better. Said, how are the Bilstein shocks? They came with them when I got the truck. Um, I switched from Bilstein to Skyjacker, and the difference is incredible. It is so much smoother to run the Black Max shocks than the Bilsteins. I did not expect that at all. Um, it is just much more of a plush ride. If you like feeling stiff and kind of more like you grew up with race car stuff and you like kind of feeling that stiffness and that jarringness and that makes you feel connected to the vehicle, then the Skyjackers sometimes can feel a little soft. But for me, um, I don't like my teeth jarring, And so the Black Maxes are night and day difference from the Bilsteins. I could not I literally was like, it's just shocks. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be maybe a little better. No, like way better. So I am extremely happy with the Black Max swap on my 7.3 with the leaf spring truck. And then this one is running since I built it basically. Um, so it got the upgrade from Monroe's, the cheapest Monroe's I could buy, to Black Max's. And I don't know, you guys have seen videos. This truck does some things, and it does them pretty well. So I I am super grateful to yeah to be sponsored by a company like that. They're also like family owned company, made in the USA. All this stuff, like it is, it's a really really cool company. So I like to get my people to switch over to them. I think I haven't had anybody. Um, yeah. So Geeks 4x410 Skyjacker site get you 15% off for the month of June. Okay. So anyway, but yes, Power Stroke is better. You might like them a little better than the Rock. I call them Rocksteins. That's that's the difference that I felt, and so that's where I'm at with it. So so yeah. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, you should. I would appreciate that. I've also got a super chat goal thing going if you want to donate, and I'll show you around what's going on in the shop if we hit 5 of them. Bob does things amazing. Yes, Bob is pretty good. Um, it works really well. But honestly, like excursions work really well. We saw at the event excursions, just everybody did just fine. There was not a single person that was struggling. Um, and we did all the fun stuff, and we just had a great time. Excursions do quite well. So, but yeah, Bob has a good time. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun truck. I like it. I like if I look down this side and it was still straight. I'm kind of bummed about that, but it's fine. Ford Power Stroke is better. 6 liter. We had 13 trucks, and 8 of them were 6 liters. 9 of them started lives at 6 liters. One of them, so we had two 7.3s, two V10s, a Cummins, and the rest were 6 liters. Diesel Lives Matter says he dailies his Super Duties off road. That's awesome, dude. You would love the Black Mac shocks if you have not switched to them already. Um, it's night and day. It's a lot better. So, but yeah, most common at the event, a 6 liter, which is just surprising as heck to all of us. So, um, apparently 6 liters live in Texas. I don't know. Let's see. Well, there was one from Arizona. No, it was two from Arizona. There was a 6 liter from New Mexico. 6 liter from South Carolina. I think the rest of them were from Texas. So, how many was that? So that's 5 from Texas, 4 from out. Nice, Diesel Lives Matter. Yeah, KYB, pretty good as well. I just like Skyjacker because I like the brand. Um, so if you want to switch, Geeks 4x410, 15% off this month. Just letting everybody know. No pressure from me. But I'm just impressed as heck. Nature's a Great says it helped the event was in Texas. I guess, yeah, I don't know, for the 6 liters to make it. I don't know. Not really sure. But yeah, that's all we had. It was kind of funny. So, and then the Cummins truck was a 6 liter. So I almost count it as a 6 liter. Anton won't like that, but I almost do. Yep. Anton, if you guys buy enough stuff this month and I win the thing with this competition they have going on, coilovers have really very much piqued my interest. I have to do a ton of work to four link the back of this truck to even consider coilovers. Um, but I would love to try and do that. Um, all of that is on the list. I also am curious about coilovers on the front. The biggest issue I've had with the coilovers in my current research is that I actually have more travel in the front of this truck currently than a coilover can give me. Um, just because of the room restriction and how low I am and stuff. So I need to build completely new towers to get a longer shock. So like I'm gonna buy a 6-inch lift coilover so that I keep it the same height, but I have to build the shock towers taller. And so I have to do all that. So it's on the list, my friend. Coilovers would be really cool. Um, and and yeah, I would love to four link the back of this truck at some point. There's there's obviously a lot of work that's going to go into that when that happens because um it somebody did it recently with like an on-road truck. They kind of four linked one, it looked like. So it's doable. But yeah. Power Stroke's better is going to rebuild his turbo with a 10 blade and upgrade 4-inch downpipe. Hopefully, get better airflow for the sound, and hopefully, it lasted a little longer before the head gaskets blow. There you go. Add Jantic switches do you recommend for a daily driver V10 or a 6 liter? Add Jantics. Honestly, a six or a six. Honestly, a V10. They're just plain and simple reliable, my friend. Make diesel great again. The 5.4s actually get the worst gas mileage though. Anton says how much depends on how much you like walking, because with a 6 liter, you're gonna walk some more. But honestly, daily driving a diesel is not that fun. So, but if you're gonna tow a trailer like all the time and daily at Jantix, you might want to think about a diesel. But if you're not gonna tow a trailer all the time, V10 is so much nicer, so much smoother, so much cleaner, all the stuff. Uh, Jared says 7-3 for life. Jared, thank you for popping in here and interjecting in the conversation. We love it. Why would I not drive a diesel every day? Well, I drive 3 miles to work, so my 7.3 wouldn't even be warm by the time I made it to work. So the batteries would be dead at the end of the week if I drove it to work every day because it wouldn't have recharged itself. So, um, Raiders says he's a 5.4 owner and know it eats gas. Oh, are you talking about the gas, the MPGs? Yeah, the 5.4s just are underpowered, so that engine is working harder, so it uses more fuel. So if you're gonna get a gas, or the V10 actually is a little better. Um, but yeah, just as a daily, just the time to heat up the diesel and to actually get its operating temperature where it's efficient and all that stuff, it's just not good. Yeah, Diesel Lives Matter says I used to drive 2 miles, use the 5.4 for that. Yep. Yeah, make diesel great again. So you're driving 50 miles, 25 each way. That's much better. Like at least your truck is warm for 15 plus miles. So you're doing a lot better than what I'm doing. And when I drive, I was dailying it 70 miles. So I was driving it 35 miles each way and I was driving the 7.3, and I didn't feel bad about that. But it's just like just living with a diesel, starting and stopping a diesel is not good for it. Like all of that stuff, like when you just need to go do a little quick errand, just running into the store and starting and stopping it, or going if you go through drive-throughs, shutting it off and turning it back, like all that stuff is not good for it. So they're built to just run. So whenever you can run them longer, they're happier. 6.0 gets to 90 degrees in 3 blocks. Yeah. 7.3 does not. Power stroke is better. Diesel for towing and long distances. Gas are for daily driving and around town and lots of city driving. Exactly. That is exactly the way that I think. I love my 7.3 for driving over the 250 miles to my in-laws. Um, I love my V10 for I do the same thing with it. Driving 5,000 miles across the country. But like if I had to drive one daily, I would drive the V10, no questions asked. Um, yes, Anton says they make Econobox cars for the full work commute. No need to drive the massive, awesome Excursion for that. Yeah, and to like kind of wear out your Excursion doing the start stopping thing and doing all that. That's no fun. I want to use the Excursion for fun stuff. So 0754 can tow heavy and very easily to 35, 45 miles an hour. Yeah. Hunter says he's commuting in his 6.2 F250 and his 6.7 F550. Yeah. Yep. But you know what I mean? It's like I I commute in the Jeep. So that's what I drive. That's all the Jeep does. Drives back and forth to work. Like 3.5 miles. It's yeah, it's super useful. Very nice. Where Parashark says he makes a lot of trips to Orlando, which is about 30 miles. Lots of trips to Fort Lauderdale, which is about 180 miles. Diesel gets around 19 just cruising. It runs a lot better. Exactly. Yep. If you can get a little bit of distance in there, you get a lot better. Where when I was dailying mine, when it was a young pup, and I was a young pup, it was my first vehicle, my white one, and I drove it like 15 miles a day to school, and then to home or wherever we were going, and it would get 14 miles per gallon. And then when I do with what I do with it now, which is try and get in it and drive it somewhere, it gets 17 and a half, maybe 18 miles per gallon. Like it's a much happier truck. Be going down the highway and putzing around town. Bob gets terrible gas mileage no matter what. It's bad. Just bad. Absolutely bad. Yes. Gasoline has come down a little bit, and diesel seems like they are not interested in bringing that down. 6.7 averages 7.5. The 6.2 gets 14. Ooh, yeah, you need to drive the 6.2 more, Hunter. That's awesome. Diesel Lives Matter said he had a 50-mile commute with his F250 6-liter. He drove 55 miles an hour and got 19 miles per gallon. Yeah, driving slow, you do good. I the commute to the 35-mile commute is a 60 mile an hour, so I just cruise at 60. It'll get 17 and a half, 18. Puts him back and forth in there. But it's the same problem. In the middle of winter, the 7.3 is not warm until I'm shaking cold. The 7.3 is not warm. And that's annoying. It's like, it's 20 degrees in the truck until yeah. Yes, Hunter said he's okay with either. He has a company fuel card. That's nice. That's that's how I feel when I'm driving for Fastenal. Is the work van. I don't care. Want to put what? I want to need to fill it up. Great, fill it all the way up. The Jeep, on the other hand, it gets $30. No, it was $20, and then they raised gas prices so much that I had to up it to 30 to get another gallon or two of gas, and $30 every 2 weeks. 03 F250 with a 5.4 gets 9. 07 5.4 gets 13. 0660 gets 13 to 14. 03 F350 5.4 gets 14 with 430s. Wow. That's not bad. It must all be two-wheel drive, right? Diesel Lives Matter, because you're down in Texas or something. I forget. Uh yeah, the Jeep gets like 12. Bob gets like 12. 7.3 gets like 17. The average is 17, 17 and a half. And then my wife's Edge, we drive way more because it gets 24. Much nicer. And then we get in the excursions when we want to go somewhere. It's more fun. Makes the trip more fun. I don't know. I like having it to where it's my special. It's more of a special vehicle. Two-wheel drive V10 Excursion gets 14. That's not bad. Anton did not notice any mile per gallon changes going from a 373 to a 430 gear, same tire size. When did you re-gear, Anton? Before the Cummins or after the Cummins? That's kind of funny. I really didn't notice a difference going from I think I had 410s. Yeah, I had 410s to the 488s either. If anything, it dropped like maybe half a mile per gallon. That's nice. That's nice, Elias. So after the Cummins, so you had it with 373s with the Cummins, and then you've got 430s now. Huh. That's crazy. You'd figure the RPM difference would at least do something, but it didn't change that at all. That's wild. But you don't get some of the Cummins guys are like, we get 20 or whatever. You're saying you get like the same. You get like 15 or something. 16. But what does yours weigh, Anton? Have you weighed it with everything in it and all the stuff? I think Anton's probably might be one of the heaviest excursions uh out there. He just has a lot of really cool stuff in it, and it's not light. Yeah, that's great. Dieselized matter. See, 71% of the people in here are excursion owners. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. 465 views. Looking for that 500 number. These lives have been really random. Missed a few, and so it seems like it's hurting me. But yeah. Yeah, I totally agree, Anton, that they're lying. It just takes energy to move stuff. And then when the guys are like, I don't know. Yeah. The there's some crazy numbers out there that I'm like, there is no way that like the science just doesn't work for it to get that. If it's a four-wheel drive pickup that you're hauling all of that weight around, like there's no way. Um or they're looking at the computer, the overhead computers, because the overhead computers are I don't even know where they get their information from because now that I have the single shot injectors, it went from being pretty close to on to like 5 miles per gallon better than it's getting. So the overhead says 21.9 or something. And so if you were just believing in 2000s technology that your overhead computer was correct, you'd be saying, I'm getting 21 in this, and you don't get 21 in that excursion. You get 17. Maybe on a good day, 17 and a half. And on a really good day, ooh, you can see 18. Bedlam, exactly. Bedlam says, didn't buy it for fuel economy. Yep. Second gen RAM gets better miles per gallon because it's moving less mass. Yeah, totally. Totally. Bedlam is completely correct. We did not buy these trucks for fuel economy. We bought these trucks because they are awesome. They are one of a kind, and they are the vehicles that we can keep our entire lives because Ford built them really well and they do everything. Like, yeah. EJ said he's never got more than 8 in his V10. See, that's the thing I don't understand as well. Why some V10 owners get so bad and some get so much like I feel like my 12 is good for a V10. I think I don't know, I think it has a lot to do with driving style. When I drive Bob, I'm really not spirited on the road because I know I have a long way to go and so I just putts. Um I'm not trying to run up to speed really fast. I'm not trying to do any of that. When I'm on a trip at least. And then in the dirt I am, and then the dirt it gets terrible. Terrible, terrible. Diesel Lives Matter bought a 6.0 in 2013 because he used to work on them, liked the look, and figured he'd use it someday. That's funny. Um, Bedlam, what oil is in the V10? It's supposed to be 530, 520. I don't know. I have no idea. I run oil. I am not one of those people that care what kind of oil goes into a vehicle. Now, some of these guys, if you're running 1540 in it, that could have an effect on it. Yeah, Anton, Bob is you know, it is not terrible with no sway bars, but yeah, I mean it's still a 7,700 pound truck on 40s. Like it's not made to go fast. It's not made to corner fast. It's not made for any of that. You get on it enough, the whole truck picks up and leans. So Diesel as Matter says driving style really matters. He gets 2 miles per gallon better than his wife. That's awesome. Uh Valvoline restore and protect. I don't know. Supposed to be 15 or 520. I run 530. See, it's funny. I thought it was 520 and I have 520 in there, but then some shop told me it was 530. Really? That's interesting, Bedlam. Speaking about oil, do you use thicker oil as your engine ages? No. No, and I don't run synthetic. I only run conventional, and I just do that. I would not really say to run thicker oil um, as your engine ages, because the oil viscosity when warm doesn't change. Like the tolerances might change a little bit, so I guess you could, but I don't know. If you want to go have a conversation about oil, Jam and Seat is the one to talk to. Uh, he is the Toverlander, I think. I don't know. He's the excursion guy from Busted Knuckle. He's had some brain stuff going on. It's kind of crazy, but I'm glad to see he's back. He's got just these awesome facts and everything. I love the way his delivery is, and um, his information is great on all that stuff. 150,000 miles of oil test on the 6 liter. Run Mystic in that and gets thousand and gas gets house brands. That's funny. Ford mod motors are not picky. No, they don't care. Diesel as Matter says, don't buy Lucas. I've run Lucas, their stabilizer in this, the really thick stuff, a ton of it's the time that I've had it. So I've never had a problem with it. So people like arc oil. I don't know. Everybody likes all their things. You can try all your stuff. Oil additives are I don't think they're harmful. There's plenty of research behind them that is showing that they're not. I'm sure somebody knows somebody that's had a problem with them. Personally, I've overfilled a vehicle and locked the motor up, broke a rod because I put too much of the Lucas stuff in something. Um, but but yeah, it's Lucas has done enough testing that I don't worry about putting their stuff as an additive um in my thing. So yeah, but it's got the additives to help it. It has extra copper. It has all the stuff. I know. Like I said, they have tested enough. It definitely what I can say from using it. I've put 30,000 miles on the Lucas stuff in this truck. The high mileage stabilizer thing is that when it is in there, the truck burns less oil. And maybe it's because the oil's thicker. I don't know. But it definitely burns less oil when the Lucas is in the crankcase. So, versus pretty much every other oil additive, whatever. I've tried the best line stuff. I've tried what's Gray's favorite. I have that in a Pro Line, Pro Lube. Um, Not sure if that one helped. That maybe it was a little less. I don't know, but not less than the Lucas stuff. The Lucas has done the most for this truck not burning oil. So when I first got it, it was much worse at burning oil than it is now. So yeah. Yeah, I have to look at the Valvoline stuff. I'm not good at paying money for oil. I've currently have synthetic blend in this because I went to an oil change shop in Waco that only did not have conventional oil, only had synthetic blend. It's also like the worst oil change experience I've ever had in my life. So it's cool. Yeah, maybe. Prolube is I don't think it's gear oil. It's thin. Prolube is super thin. So gear oil is so much thicker that I can't imagine it being gear oil. Um, I don't know. It doesn't smell like gear oil either. So I don't know. Some people sent me that stuff. I tried it. It was fine. I just check the oil every 1,000 miles. Honestly, this is the thing I always try to get across from people. People can argue on the internet all day long about oil and what this and what that. Here's my biggest thing, my biggest plea for people on the internet: just change your oil. Because when you work in a shop, or like me, when you drive for a living, like my van right now at work, um, I think I'm at 15,000 miles since the last oil change. It's fine. Not my problem. Um, yeah, no, I did dieselize matter. Like I said, there's all I'm saying is that when I run it, it burns less oil. So it's it's not a big deal. I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just literally telling people what I have found. Yep, and I try and change mine. Bedlam says every 3K exactly. I've done 3,500 in the diesel. It's almost its entire life. This one I change the oil every 3K. But you would be surprised, guys, at how many people do not change their oil, and then they come on and they go, "I'm going to change the oil finally. What exact oil do I need to run?" It's like, just change it. Change the oil. So, so yeah. Diesel lives matter. No, I changed the oil in this. I'm saying my van at work. The van's fine. It's a 3.6. It's fine. It's perfect. It's not my problem. Um, but this, like my vehicles, I changed the oil in, man. I changed 3,500 in the 7.3. I've done it almost its entire life. I've probably missed a total of 4 oil changes and gone to maybe 5,000 miles on the 7.3. And then yeah, diesel lives. The oil in the 7.3, the way it recycles it is done as soon as you start it again because it's already black. Uh, um, but yeah, and then this one I've done 3 or 35. I don't know. Whatever Jiffy Lube sticker says. You guys will love that too. I love Jiffy Lube. I don't like disposing of oil. It's a pain in the butt. So I just go and pay people. And I don't, and I feel like I don't pay for it actually because I have coupon codes that are like 50% off. Um and so I always pay less than I would pay if I bought the oil for an oil change. So works great for me. Um Make diesel great again. Yeah, buddy. I would not go 7,500 miles on a 7.3. 5,000 would be my max. I like 3,500. That's what I've always done. Nice. Anton says he's run oil over 15,000 miles. Bedlam says at Walmart you can drop it off. Totally. I get all that. But that means I have to drive over to Walmart and drop off my oil. Where instead, I can just go to the Jiffy Lube and they have the oil, so I didn't have to drive to the store to get the oil. They have the disposal, so I don't have to drive anywhere to dispose it. All I got to do is go to one spot, and it's done in 20 minutes. Nice. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Make diesel great again. 5K is the deal. So, yeah. Oil's a heated thing. It's really funny. People get very heated about it. And I get people all the time that get like mad at me that I go and get somebody to change my oil when I do everything else on these trucks myself. And I'm just like, I don't want to. It's a pain. 15K is it could very much be suicide, except that he said he had it tested. So still tested fine. Uh so yeah, oh yeah, and a Huey, yeah. That I mean, for sure. Again, all this stuff. The biggest thing is, yes, these trucks have oil in them. Can you believe that, Hunter? There's oil in these. Um, Hunter says he's supposed to be changing it. Hassan, what's up? Um, Yeah, like I keep going back to, my key ingredient for everyone that I actually, and you guys are all gearheads, so you actually know this, but, like, whenever I'm talking to people, I feel like I talk to people all the time that are like, "What do you mean I have to change my oil?" Like, "Yeah," or, "I'm not gonna change it unless I change it with the perfect stuff." And I'm like, "Just change the oil. People need to do this." Bedlam, Honda's four-cylinder starter. It is in the cove of the motor. The rear bolt is extended. You have to tweak your hand around to get it in there. It is terrible. Um, yeah, yeah, the Honda one's terrible. Also, the other one, there's another. Is it GM? Somebody put a starter inside the bell housing of a transmission. So, uh, the 7.3 starter is way better than both of those because it's actually you can see it. I had to take the bumper off of the Honda to put that in there. That was stupid. Yeah. Can you believe Make These Look Great Again said something about the oil light. Uh all these intervals for the oil lights are 10K. That's what they run. And I wish I could reset that. It is crazy to me that, like, so essentially the companies are setting people up to fail because when the light comes on, you're already over your oil change. And so you're never gonna have a vehicle last if you're running to the light every time because you're changing the oil at 10K. That is insane to me. Liam says trying to get another excursion. What engine do you suggest? Liam, whatever you can afford, my friend. The Holy Grail is a 7.3, but the V10 is killer. And yeah, log or blue tape scrubber. Well, what I do is I do 50% on the oil life. So like the edge we have does a percentage of oil life left, and I change it at 50%. So it's at 5,000 versus 10. But like when my wife's just driving it, she doesn't pay attention until the light comes on. Liam, the 6.7 liter never came in an excursion. So if you want to find a 6.7, that would be a body swapped one or yeah, a body swapped one. 6.0 is you can ask Anton about the 6.0 and if you should buy one of those. Especially Liam, if I remember right, you're on a budget, um so yeah. Yes, Liam, the 6.7 didn't was a engine that was not produced until is it 2013, guys? I don't know, 2015. And the Excursion stopped being produced in 2005. So yeah. So 6 liter gonna cost you the most money, but has the most power of any of the engines. V10 is the best budget bang for your buck engine. 7.3 is I think the best engine that it was offered with. Um, and the 5.4 is it moves it. 2011 was a 6.7, so 6 years later was 6.7. What? So the 6.4 really 2011? Because the 6.4 existed in there too. Yeah, that's perfect. Hunter says he's just gonna swap a 6.4 in his, so he doesn't have to worry about things like oil or maintenance. I agree. I mean, the 6.4, once you fix all the problems, might be the best engine. I kid, I kid. Yes, yeah. There was Anton said there was a company that used to take the front of the trucks and weld on the rear cab. The Excursion. I think that company still exists. Excursion Conversion or something. I don't remember. 2008 to 2010 was a 6.4. Dang. So the 6 liter lasted 5 years. 6.4 only lasted two. That's crazy. Oh, 6 liter you could get. Well, 6.7 is 6.7 is a really good engine once you fix some of the really bad ththings, just like all of them. Mateys a Great says if he had to swap his 7.3, he'd put a two-stroke Detroit diesel in it. I mean, that's one way to do it. You would never have to change the oil. I mean, two-stroke, no more oil changes, so that works well. Six eight, yeah, 6.4 was 3, yeah. But you could buy a 6 liter when the 6.4 was still out, because somebody just said you could buy a 6 liter to 2010. So you could choose between diesels for those 3 years. See, I know the Excursions is what I know, and I don't know. I didn't pay that much more attention. We just always had the 7.3, and I always loved the 7.3, and I still love the 7.3. It's my favorite vehicle ever. Dude, though, you still need to do an oil filter change. See, that's better though. How do they get their oil? Is it not from the fuel? 6.0 is only in vans past '07. Interesting. This is great. You guys have done way too much research on this. I hate to tell you. You know, as the guy that just makes up stuff about excursions, you know. K says he's got almost 600K on his 7.3. That is awesome, man. You're beating me for sure. I only have 352. I mean, really just low miles, brand new, right? I love me a 7.3, man. It is. I don't know. The two strokes don't leak when new, so you need to change the oil on those. What? 150K on a 7.3. Only do filter changes on a 6.5. It leaks good enough. You don't have to worry about a full oil change. Yeah, I keep wondering about that with Bob because I put enough oil in it between. I just changed the filter. Conventional oil sump. Hmm. Don't know. Only thing I've seen those Detroits in is doesn't Dave Heavy D Sparks guy, doesn't he have those Detroit diesels in one of his like boats or something? And that's the only thing that I've kind of learned about those from. Two strokes have a the two stroke diesel has a blower, an air box, and an exhaust valve. Yeah, they're super simple, right? So I love me some simplicity. Simplicity is a good time. That's why I love Anton's come and swap. He just did such a nice job. It's so simple. It just looks so simple. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Not popping my ears near as much. Finally starting to figure that out. It's only been 2 months. But that's cool. Starting to feel better that way. Um, in other news, Jeep still runs. QT2 2000 EXPY. That's what I've always called an Expedition. Are you an Expedition owner? Q12. Two-stroke diesels are still used today in emergency stationary equipment for fire water pumps. Oh, that's cool. Makes sense because they just run. That's what it sounds like. Why didn't you put a two-stroke in yours, Anton? Come on, man. You missed out on the more reliable engine. They only make like 4 horsepower, but they're more reliable. I'm sure somebody will come back with that they can make a ton of horsepower. I don't know enough about them. Maybe they can. Oh, guys, you're too fun. Appreciate the heck out of this. It's just fun. The back and forth banter, all the stuff. Bring it in, bring it on. I love it. This is just a good time. No aftermarket. Two-stroke in your rig till a few years ago. Replace it with a N14 after it ran away. Oh yeah, so the two strokes are the ones that can run away. Um, Uh, Bedlam is asking if the guy that had 600,000 on a 7.3, have you owned your vehicle the whole time? That's not my 7.3. My 7.3 has 352 on it. Yes, I have owned my 7.3 all of those miles. Well, my family has. I was 6 when my grandpa bought it. So somebody I know has put every single mile on that truck. International DT 360 is what you wanted to run. That's cool. Don't know what that is either. So that's cool. Yeah, I guess yeah. But it was more common with the other ones. I don't know. Diesels are still enough confusing to me that I don't need to get into how they can run away. That's scary. No thanks. I don't like to be scared. I'll keep my V10. Guys, I'm gonna turn into a V10 boy. Uh K9's the whole coil swap to run the '05 axle is bolt on. It I mean, it requires a lot of work and drilling, but it is fully bolt on. I did videos on it. They're on my YouTube channel right here. I also did a guide to it. So if you want to know exactly what parts, you can click that link I just posted, and that will take you to a place where you can grab that guide. It's super cheap, and it just tells you all the parts that I used on my coil swap. Make diesel great again. Yes, I did. That was the vehicle I passed my driver's license test in. It was the vehicle I started driving in when I got my permit. It was my first vehicle. Was my 2000 was my 7.3 Excursion. The truck is never going anywhere. um, Hunter, no. Oh, in the Sterling. I don't know. Um, it's an interesting thought. I Because everybody that looks at this one says it looks like the hub is different on the outer side of it, and the actual axle tube is not, but I know that they're wider. So it might be in the hub and the way that the wheels sit on the hub, so that then the axle shafts would be the same, but it might not be. And they might be too long. Oh, the DT 360 is what Cummins copied with the 12 valve. That's cool. Yeah, Dieselized Matter said the same thing. Like I said, it's weird though because the way that the bolting plate, the wheel mounting plate sits on the hub on the '05 Plus. So the hub sticks out a lot on our '04 and '05. Well, so this would be like the wheel mounting plate. Well, in the '05s, the wheel mounting plate is here. And so I am actually not super convinced that they didn't just put a different outer on those axles to make them wider to fit the front axle. Maybe. I don't know. An Iranian who is able to connect to the international internet by force is here. Good. Good, P Cafe. What's up? Um, Make these a great says he remembers the first excursion tips I shot on the windy hilltop. Yep, it was my 7.3. 7.3 is still around on the channel. It's a white 7.3. It's not going anywhere. The all of the lease ring upgrade stuff, it's all shot on that truck and all that thing. So Dieselized Matter, I'd be curious. It's not just about looking at them though. Pull that axle shaft out if you have time, because I'm curious if they are. Because I really think it might just be in the outer hub. The way that that thing is mounted onto that piece that the axle actually bolts into. Oh, you're gonna run a Sterling in your tent trailer axle, Hunter? I will have I don't know how soon, but I'm gathering parts to swap my 7.3, so I'm gonna have a rear Sterling pretty soon. Probably within the next year. I'm not that close, but soonish. And I'll have a 50 if you want that. They have 352,000 miles on them. They're perfect though. The front oil has never been changed. It's fine. Yeah, Hunter, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. but I don't know. Would you literally have gear oil in it and have it spinning gears? I don't know that I would do that. I don't what parts do you really need though off of the rear? I guess like are you going to trust your rear like I did so it doesn't spin? That's the weakness of the Sterling. If you guys are building off-road excursions and you are worried a little bit about the Sterling because it's not as strong as a 14 bolt, that's the weakness is that the axle tubes actually can rotate in the pumpkin because for whatever. So you can weld them to it. You need to use a special rod. I don't remember. Dave Chappelle told me at one point. And the other thing you can do is I truss mine. So there's a truss across the top of my pumpkin that makes sure that all the stuff. Um, Dieselized matter. Yeah, no, I think he's talking about how to carry some extra parts for the excursion with his camp trailer. And I think it's a good idea. It's an interesting idea. Yes, Anton, you're super correct. So if it is just the hubs, it would make the O5 conversion easier. You could use, um, but it doesn't matter because if you just use the right year axle, um, the speedometer sensor is in the right place. But yes, it wouldn't help though. The reason that people want to run the 2010 plus axles is because in 2011 you get that e-locker. And so the problem with that e-locker axle is it doesn't have a tone ring, so you don't have a speedometer, and that's annoying. Yeah, yeah, dieselized matter. Off-roading is a different beast when we're twisted up and trying to do dumb things with big tires. A four low launch doesn't put a lot of strain on your rear axle. I know you're towing a trailer, I know it's, but you have all four tires pulling and you're not trying to do something. You're not hopping on an obstacle or something like that or doing dumb things like that. That's the weak point of the Sterling is twisting the center. It's very commonly known in the off-road world, and a lot of people there's everybody makes trusses and stuff for it. It's really easy. Um, but yeah, totally right, Anton. Hunter gonna use nickel rod, run some passes on the axle chassis would be the most common thing. But if I blow the whole thing, I just swap it out. Yeah, if you put gears and everything in it, and then you have to run gear oil and all of that stuff in your rear. It's an interesting idea. I don't hate that idea. But I also just the rear axle is not the one that I would be concerned about having parts. Diesel lives matter, totally. And I try not to let the axle hop either. But that's the people that have twisted them, that's what they have done. So super missile rod. Hunter, DM Dave Chappelle, Dirthead Dave. He'll probably respond to you. If he doesn't, I'll DM. I'll scroll back through my DMs. And he told me, I think it was titanium rod or something. He told me and you have to do it with a stick, which is why I didn't do it because I don't know how to stick weld. I should have learned. I can still do it, but yeah. Yeah, dieselized matter. I drive on Stantum sometimes. Yep. It's way different out here. We got a lot of traction and yeah. Super missile rod, Anton says is the correct rod. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what Dave said, but super missile rod sounds somewhat familiar. Maybe that's just something that Anton said at the event. I don't know. No, dieselized matter. It just off-roading is extremely hard on axle components. And so um sometimes you just or the obstacle's so hard and you get hopping and you didn't mean to or something like that. A newer driver doesn't know. There's a lot of factors that go into it and there's sure probably tons of things that they should have done or didn't do. But it's just, stuff happens. Stuff breaks. So there's a reason I trust mine. I'll put it that way. Because the 14 bolt is stronger than a Sterling. Um Still is, but my Sterling is now trussed, so it is close to a 14 bolt. So, but I'm not in the boat of thinking that I have a better axle or a stronger axle than a 14 bolt in any day, in any way, shape, or form. Oh, wait. How did I do that? Computer is not charging.
So, but I do too love the Sterling axle. I think it's very good. I also like that I'm still a factory axle. Really easy for me to find parts. I was as I was telling Hunter, it's like that's not the axle I'm worried about. The problems that I've had has been in the front. Um, and it's not with the 60 even. It's in the steering components that I've had trouble with. So your F350 has an S111. It's really big. Yeah. Yeah, some of those bigger axles are even crazier. They're almost overkill at that point. That's why the 14 bolt is like so sought after in the off-road community because it's like the perfect mix of strength and size that it can still go down the trail. Some of those with the pumpkin so big, which the 14 bolt has that problem, gets hung up on stuff because the pumpkin is so big, even with a 40-inch tire, you don't have very good ground clearance. So, um, I like the Sterling. It's a great in between axle. I'm super happy with it. Uh, it's just an interesting, like I said, if you're building one to wheel, the the best safest thing to do is buy the truss was $100, like $120, I think, from Artec. It was super cheap, and you just weld to cast and pray it doesn't crack. Yes, yeah, exactly. Diesel lives matter. Oh, is it a 10 lug diesel lives matter? Is your F350 a 10 lug? Yeah, probably another one of those weird Ford anomalies, Anton. They just like threw crap in things, man. Like I've tried I've oh he pulled it out in an F450, yeah. Um I've tried to figure out like what package included the tow mirrors or what package included this or nothing. Just a checkbox. F350 with the tow boss package had a 60 in the back. Really? Holy smoke! Got the AC in the front after adding 37 ounces. Nice. 19.5 tires. Oh, cool. That's super cool. Diesel lives matter. Sounds like a sweet setup. That's an awesome tow rig. Big old wheels and tires. Are you running? There was a guy that's running semi wheels that posted on, I don't know, TikTok or something. He's got like 200,000 miles on those tires because the truck's so light that it's not burning them off. I'm like, that's actually hilarious, but it probably doesn't ride good at all. All right, let's see how we're doing. We got 11 minutes left for our super chat goal. Just letting you guys know if you want. Um, it's a cheap setup. Hey, cheap. Hey, cheap is not cheap if it works. It's still cheap, but uh, if it works, it's fine. Dana 80. Yeah, that makes more sense, Anton. Did I read that wrong? Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. It's fine. I can read. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I didn't think so. No dual wheel Dana 60. They weren't big enough for that. The 60 is a great axle, but it's a great axle for not a dually. Probably. You're probably right. One of the early Dana 60s was probably one of the first dually axles way back in the day. They pretty much used the 60s for everything back in the day. Is what it felt like. It's like all the kingpin axles were 60s. Those are the those are the holy grail in off-roading. I kind of made mine a kingpin the wrong way by doing the ball joint deletes. I really like those ball joint deletes. Um, the internet hates them. Every time I talk about them, people are so angry about it. And all I'm saying is that they work and I drive down the road and they keep working and it's kind of great. So, uh yeah, I'll take my ball joint deletes as over Kingpin's got all those special things. You got to find the special parts and all that stuff. So, I have a buddy with a Kingpin and it's nice, but he put a lot more time into it, I feel like, than I have into mine to make it as strong. It What's not a Dodge? His is from a Dodge, his Kingpin axle. Mine is not from a Dodge. Mine is the Ford Coil 60, but it could be thought of from a Dodge. No, I was kidding. Yes, Anton. I actually, a lot of people in the off-road world dislike unit bearings, and I personally, oh boy, here we go. And got it. Oh yeah, the Dodge ball joints are terrible. Um, but yes, I was saying about unit bearings. I actually prefer the unit bearing. I totally agree with you, Anton. I I mean, all the old school guys still like their kingpins, and the I really like the knuckles size. I really like the unit bearing because I can just buy a new bearing. I don't have to pull the thing apart, and if it's loose or does something weird or whatever, it's like it's so easy to just buy a new wheel bearing and have it. I thought I heard a wheel bearing chirp on this trip, so I bought one in Moab. Carried it all the way to Texas, carried it all the way home. If I ever would have had enough problem, I would have just pulled over and put it on. It would have taken me 30 minutes and I would have been done with it. Like, not trying to find specific bearings, not trying to find, I just have the unit bearing. Not hard. So, I very much do agree. I like my my Super Duty 60. And it's kind of become the new builder's axle anyway. Um, it was expensive for a long time. The prices have finally come down a little bit. Uh, but all the Jeep guys are starting to use them. The big problem with the Super Duty axle is that Ford did all of that cast stuff on there. And so to remove all of that takes a ton of work. And so the off-road guys get frustrated with that, but a lot of them still are using them. And just talking about how hard it is to cut off all the stuff to rebuild it. Because that inline setup just doesn't work. It doesn't flex very well. If I ever get to the point where I get to run coils and do all that stuff, I really need to probably figure all that stuff out on mine as well, and redo the mounts where I don't have to use the control arm type mounts, the trailing arm. What is it called? I don't know. The up and down mounts. So I would like to have an actual either triangulated four link or a little bit of a triangulated four link. Yep. Dieselized Matter says replace the unit bearing at 9 p.m. and left at 6 a.m. the next morning. Not a big deal. Yeah, because you replaced it and it was done. You didn't have to tighten. You didn't have to check anything. You didn't just put a new one in. Done. Bye. Radius arm. There's the word. Thank you, Anton. I'm like, why is my brain just farting out? Um, yeah. So the radius arm thing, it just doesn't flex all that well. The PMF 4-link flexes pretty well. I really want to try their 3-link and see if it really limits me that much. It's not a 3-link, it's just a Y radius arm. Because this truck doesn't have that much travel. Like I said earlier, it has more travel than coils if I was this low on coils, on the factory mounts. And then, but it doesn't have that much travel for what it is. It has 9 inches. I feel like the Jeep has 9. No, the Jeep has 12 or something. The Jeep is not near as big, and it doesn't have long arms, so it shouldn't have more. Um, and I'm talking, sorry, not 12. The Jeep has 6 up and down, I think, or 7. Trying to do the math really quick in my head. Maybe it's 7. So, anyway, uh, really, really like the. I really don't like those radius arms. I don't like how low they hang too. Like I end up using my radius arms as rock sliders all day long. I'm really glad that PMF built them really well, but I hate how low they are. I can't stand it. So I lost like 7 inches of ground clearance going from the stock radius arm to the 4-link because of the mount position at the other side of it. And that's a lot. I don't know if it was 7, maybe it was 4. It was enough that I was annoyed. Yes. Totally, Anton. Yep, yep. So I it's in the plans. All right, Hunter, have a nice bath. Enjoy. Uh yeah. We'll see you soon, Hunter. Um Hunter, you should come to the Northwest Overland Rally too. It's a fun little thing. Holy smoke. Is there another place to run wires from the roof to the back other than the rear windows? Are you talking like from on top of the roof to inside the truck? Because I ran everything through the rear hatch stuff. If you're going to go on top of the roof, if you run down into the rear hatch, it's a little easier. Yeah, no pressure, Hunter. Like I keep telling people, it's not an off-road event. I could be talking to doing some wheeling around it if a bunch of people come. Um, it's just more of like a hangout in a field, and it's kind of expensive. But it's like really cool to be around those people, and I really like how intimate it is with the vendors. So, um, I'm excited. Tire Right's going to be there. The Tire Gator table people, like you get to hang out with all these vendors all weekend, and it's just really good. Get to know these people and really get to know them. So. Anton says drill holes in the roof and use a gland. It's always an option. Yeah, you could use some sort of thing. I'm not a big fan of drilling holes in the roof. Um, so I run wires down over the back in the back hatch. So like, and then through the side of the hatch, one of those little rubber plugs goes inside, and you can run it up the D pillar and then up along the roof to get inside or down along the window and down underneath the doors and stuff. Um, that's kind of what I do when I'm trying to get back there super cleanly. Um, I've never gone from the roof. Well, I have with like antennas and stuff in the Excursion, but yeah. Yes, Anton. Anton is right. There are already holes in the roof. Those holes have O-rings and stuff though. You can if you create a watertight seal after you drill a hole, you can do the same thing. You just got to pop your headliner down and get behind it and stuff. So it's easier to run it without popping your headliner down. Would be my take. But Anton is totally right. There are already holes in the roof. I have an antenna literally drilled into the hard top of my Jeep through the roof. So of all the stuff. Yes, the roof clearance lights. I hate all that stuff. I don't know why you drill holes for that, but anyway. um, um, yeah, I don't know. What are you trying to run? Holy smoke! Are you trying to run like auxiliary lights, or what's kind of what's your goal? Totally missed the countdown on the super chat thing. Yeah, we missed it. It's fine. See if Holy Smoke gets back here to me. Guys, we hit 600 viewers this week. 610 currently. That is it's like 200 more than it's been the last couple weeks. So it's awesome. YouTube is letting this go again, so that's cool. It's really frustrating me to get 300 views. I'm hoping to get back over the 1,000 mark, but I'm super grateful for all of you sitting in here and just talking the whole time. It's a lot more fun to talk when you guys are commenting and bringing up random things. And even if we're arguing about oil, I hate that so much. I hate that. Yeah. Um, but I'm just super grateful for all of you guys. And I think it's really neat that we can all just bond and come together over. I mean, it's one of the best trucks ever made. We all can all agree. But like over a vehicle, like how neat is that? This is the cool side of the internet that people get to meet and bond um, over a truck. Like I am in awe. I'm grateful. I appreciate the heck out of all of you. So I just want you to know it. So, and some of you came to the event, which I also just extremely appreciate. I I really need to sit down and figure out the next steps for that and kind of brainstorm and figure out what I want what we want to do out of the next event. There's a lot of different talk about different things, and the event is all for you folks and bringing us all together. Yeah, perfect, Anton. Let's talk about tire brand instead of oil. Yeah. No, no, how about tire pressure instead of oil? Because that's another one that people just like, no, I run the sidewall of the tire. No, I run what the door says. No, I put a chalk test on it. And it's like, do what you want. If you want to run with a hard riding tire that's at the sidewall pressure, that's fine. Because somebody like you, Anton, you probably do that because you tow all the time, and that makes total sense. Uh, if you want to run it at the door, that's fine. If you want to chalk test it, I run these tires at 26 psi. Oh gosh, premium or regular fuel. I don't know. Mid grade's in there too, Anton. You got to watch out. Then there's this green stuff, and there's also this red one every once in a while. Like, where did those come into the argument? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so funny. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you. I think I'm going to check out um, Diesel Lives Matter says there's already enough holes in the roof. Yeah. And if you wait long enough, the rust will give you more holes in the roof. So you got that going for you. um, But yeah, I super appreciate all of you guys. Um, I'm so friggin' blessed to be able to sit here and talk about trucks. Oh gosh, yeah, synthetic or conventional oil. Um, yeah, I'm so blessed to just have a community to talk and laugh with. Thank you guys for understanding my jokes and having a good time. If you haven't watched the walk around video from today, it's a super quick one. And it's not doing that well. And I'm wondering if it's because it's super quick and because people are like, oh, we can't see a whole excursion in 3 minutes or something. Um, but man, the wind made stuff rough. So it's kind of bummer. Mascalacello, what's up? Awesome. Um, and yeah, so if you haven't watched that, that's on the channel. I'd appreciate it if you guys would go like that, share it with somebody you know. Helps it grow. All the rest of them have been doing really well. This one's kind of not doing that well. So, um, which is funny because Ryan has a really nice truck. So I don't know what happened. But anyway, I appreciate the heck out of all of you people. Thank you so much for supporting the excursions. Thank you so much for supporting me. And I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the live next week. So just so you guys know, we're going to skip next week. I should be back the week after. Oh, the week after might be at Northwest Overland Rally. So, dang, that's rough. Diesel Lives Matter, yeah. Um, so the next week we might be at Northwest Overland. So if I'm there, we'll see. See if I'm still there, or if I'm come home, or if we're gonna go do some off roading or something. We'll see how that one goes. But yeah, I'm gonna pull out of here. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for caring. We will see you next time we see you. I'll make sure to post about it. Appreciate you. Bye bye.